It is 11:32. You are listening to the mid-morning talk on Islam Media with me, Mariam Mukwanda, and it's time for my journey to Islam. On today's show, we have Lindiwe Ludziya, who is a film producer, animator, and author, and she will be sharing her story with us. And let's get her on the line. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, sis Lindiwe. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum, sis Lindiwe. Can you hear us? Can you hear me?
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you, Miriam?
Alhamdulillah, all good in yourself?
Can you hear me? Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, all good. Okay, there is a slight delay, so you might
Yes,
only
I can,
hear my
but then you're
answers
cutting,
after
so I'm
a
not sure if
while.
it's on my side or your side.
Must be the network.
Alhamdulillah, shukr alhamdulillah, Miriam.
All right. I'm going to try as best as I can to conduct the interview despite the circumstances that we have. And if needs be, we will switch to a different medium, maybe telephonic. So you reverted to Islam 13 years ago. Who or what inspired your journey?
Okay. It must be.
All right, we are going to take this interview over the telephone. As you can see, the video is not doing too well. If you have any comments or questions for Sis Lindiwe, you can send them to us and we will ask them for you, or you can call us in studio. The number is excuse me, the number is 01088802396, and on WhatsApp it is 0617660355. Lindiwe is going to be sharing her journey to Islam with us, and if you know anyone who has a good, inspiring story to share as well, send them over, and we would love to feature them on the show. This is something that started in 2019, and we decided to continue with it, and we've shared many stories of people who reverted to Islam, many inspiring journeys, heart-wrenching, thought-provoking. It's everything. So if you go through our Facebook and pages, and even on our website, you'll be able to listen to some of the beautiful stories that were shared on this platform. So Sis Lindiwe embraced Islam 13 years ago, and she will be sharing some of the challenges that she faced and still continue to face in this day and age. I know there are so many people who face challenges, and some overcome those challenges, but then others don't really get to overcome their challenges. It's something that becomes ongoing. And she's also a mother of 3 boys, and she is in the entertainment industry, being an independent film and animation producer, content developer, ghostwriter, editor, scriptwriter, and author, who will be sharing her journey with us. So we're gonna take a quick nasheed break while we wait for Sis Lindiwe to join us.
And create an awareness of the plight of the people of Palestine. Support our initiative in providing medical assistance and food security. Donate towards our urgent appeal with your zakat, sadaqah, or lillah. Visit our website www.pennyappeal.org.za or call 031 1100 573. Penny Appeal, love Palestine. Penny Appeal, small change, big difference.
Duzimed Medicine Depot Retail Pharmacy and Emergency Medical Depot. Conveniently situated in the Duzimed Medical Center, corner Burger and Bossel Street, Pietermaritzburg. We provide safe, affordable and convenient medical facilities. Open till 10 p.m. every day of the year. We have a full house clinic that operates from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m., which is run by a qualified sister. The clinic offers immunization, vaccination, wellness, general consultation, and more. Call Duzimed Medicine Depot on 033 3421 Duzimed Medicine Depot, your pharmacy of choice.
What makes Randery Jewelers the optimum place for your memorable gift? Is it our range of exclusive, high-end, luxurious jewellery? Or is it our master craftsmanship of all your bespoke jewellery needs? We believe it's because at Randery Jewelers, we know just how to make your special moments last forever. Whether it's for a wedding, anniversary, or just a simple gift to show your love, trust Randery Jewelers to make it special. www.randeryjewelers.com. Make your moments last forever with Randery Jewelers, the family name you can trust.
Listen to something fresh. Listen to Salam Media.
All right, welcome back. You are listening to the Mid-Morning Talk on Salam Media. And earlier, we were trying to chat to Sister Lindiwe Ludziya, who is a film producer and animator and author, sharing her journey of how she reverted to Islam 13 years ago. But unfortunately, due to our connections, we were unable to continue with that. Now we have taken it to the telephone lines. So we have to go back to our roots sometimes. So she is on the line. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Once again, Sis Lindiwe, and shukran for joining me.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you for having me, Miriam. And I'd like to pass salam to your viewers as well, your listeners.
Alhamdulillah, wa alaikum salam. So you reverted to Islam 13 years ago. Who or what inspired your decision to become a Muslim?
13 years ago, I met somebody. That's how I reverted to Islam. I met somebody who was a Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened was, when I met this person, he was dressed in kurtas and so forth. So I was like, what is this? Why are you dressed like this? Because we met through a mutual friend. We were both visiting a friend at the time. So then he answered me, this is a kurta, I'm a Muslim, and so forth. So later on, he asked me, do you know anything about Islam? And I didn't. So he told me, he gave me dawah. Islam, it's this and it's that. And we're not even supposed to be talking as we are talking right now. We don't date as Muslims and so forth. And then later on, he said, do you know, as Muslims, we can take up to 4 wives, because there was an attraction there. There was an attraction there, and I didn't know. And then he was like, no, I'm married, but I can take her as my wife. And that's how I related to Islam through polygyny. That was the means of me relating to Islam. So I went, he arranged that I should meet with the wife before I could enter into Islam or make nikah with him. And that's what happened. I met with the wife, with the time we spoke, and she asked me a few questions like, would I be able to commit to Islam? It's not going to be an easy journey as compared to what I'm used to. Mm-hmm. And being the person that I am, very curious about what's this all about, I just dived in, and that's how I related to Islam 13 years ago. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Now, how did your family react to the knowledge of your conversion?
I had a very supportive mother. She really was the type of a person who would allow me to do whatever I wanted to do, as long as I believe in what I'm doing. So it wasn't as difficult, from my family, because I was with my mother and my father was elsewhere, but my life was around my mother and my family. So she accepted what I had decided to do, and she was very supportive of it. You know, there wasn't any backlash. The only backlash I faced was from outside the community, outside the family, which means the community. The community in general and the Muslim community with what I was presenting, because remember, I came to as a second wife, and not the second wife that is hiding, the second wife that is out there, that is known as a second wife. So the backlash came from the community at large and the Muslim community. Otherwise, with my family, it was okay, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Now, you spoke about the backlash that you received, especially from the community. What other challenges did you face?
Phew. Okay, the initial wife was everyone in the community was looking up to. So, if I should say so, a role model, you know. So I came as a second wife, as somebody that was viewed who was breaking a structure of this couple that everyone looks up to, you know. So no one wanted to associate with me within the Muslim community, the non-Muslim community. They were just afraid of what I was openly representing, you know. Because remember, even if polygyny is something that is done, nobody wants to talk about it, and nobody wants anybody to do it openly, you know. So everyone rejected me, and the non-Muslim community, they were calling me all sorts of names. The Muslim community, they just didn't want anything to do with me at the time. So I just wasn't accepted. And also the family that I was marrying into, they couldn't accept what I presented coming into their family. It was like, I'm not a wife, but I'm a mistress, a legal mistress, if I should say so, you know. So I received a whole lot of negativity, and I had to navigate through it all on my own and find a way, you know, inshallah.
Now, I can just imagine, you think of something good, the family accepts, as something good as well. The first wife actually opened her arms and allowed you into her home, yet the community sees it as different. Community sees you and decides to label you as something that you are not, even though they don't really know what happens behind closed doors. So now, do you still face these challenges?
You know, Miriam, with time, a whole lot of things went wrong. Within the marriage with myself as well, I had to face so many challenges. And during the process of me being in this journey, I lost my mother. I lost both my parents. I lost my mother, then I lost my father, then I lost my grandmother. And I ended up being alone and not having a backup system. So I had to find my way within all that on my own, you know. One of the challenges when I did my own research was, you know, I was disappointed within the Muslim community, the Muslim sisters who were supposed to embrace me with open arms and show me the way, you know, that, you know, after all my mistakes, after all the mistakes that happened within the marriage and the mistakes that happened between me and my co, I now know that polygyny isn't such a bad thing. You know, it is one thing that could actually build our communities, especially in our localities. You know, we are so head-bent, you know, in negating polygyny represent Miriam, and it's such a good thing because now we would be building a structure in our communities, you know, as it also, you know, honors the woman. You know, it's not nice being a woman wanting to get married and there's no one to marry you. You know, you end up looking outside the fold of Islam. In fact, men outside the fold of Islam, they come and propose you, you know. They don't look into how many kids you have. They just see a woman that they want to marry. So I wish our sisters would actually, you know, propel the polygyny within their marriages and try to see it in a better narrative than it's building than, collapsing marriages. Because I strongly believe, Miriam, no woman can come into your marriage and break your marriage unless it was already crippled. You understand what I'm saying? And if that is not the case, some women are very possessive of their husbands, which is an issue as we speak. As women, we are very possessive of our husbands, but we fight against that. We are saying when a man doesn't want you to have friends, when a man doesn't want you to go to A, B, and C and D, we are quick to say he's being oppressive. But we are also doing the same thing to our husbands. We want to control. We have control issues. We want to control where he goes. We want to control how many times he does this, which then it means that we have got entitlement issues. We are very entitled to our husbands. But polygyny is something that was made halal, by Allah. Allah permitted it. It is the sunnah of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So I'm not sure if Muslim sisters were ready to engage on the subject matter. When is it that we are going to practice the true Islam and practice Sunnah and follow the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, So
I think with the topic of polygyny, Muslim sisters have been engaging on this particular topic, and they are tired, and mostly they are tired because of the way it's done. And but like you said, also sisters are becoming possessive, and others don't want to be labeled as home wreckers, etc. Yet they want to practice polygyny. And I guess it comes down to the individual. If you feel like this is something you can handle, then Bismillah, go for it and try it out. If it's not something that you can do, then that's between you, your family, and Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, and you will decide whether it's something you want to stay in or is something that you feel is not good for you. So those are my just my little thoughts, but we should. I feel like the conversations of polygyny are just dry now. We can and we will still be talking about it, but it's dry.
It's dry, but it is one of those conversations we should keep on having until we find solutions within our communities. Those were just the EPBC that I would say that I think that we can move things forward this way. Other than that, in terms of the work that I do, Miriam, I entered into a space where it was a lockdown for women in general, and where I was not known. It's something that I've always done. I've always been writing. I've always been writing plays. But when I became a Muslim, it's like I suppressed so much of myself, And having a background where my mother used to work for Galo Music, so I was from an early age, I was very exposed to that environment where I meet artists. I go to events with my mother when she was working, so I had certain contacts. And this is the route I've always known that I want to take, So what happened was I decided that, let me write this. And it's an unsolicited script. It's not something that the channel wanted or any of the channels wanted. And I knew I would take this, I would write this, and I would take this and take it to all these different channels and all these different production companies, and I was rejected for years and years, time and X. So I decided that, I will call them. I will go to this one independent station and I will call one of the people that I know that, listen, this is me. And who is me? This is a person who's been ghostwriting for this long, because I also do ghostwriting as well. I wrote this. But you cannot say that you're a ghostwriter because you sign contracts, you sign NDAs, because you write stories that you sell. So after having done that, showing these people that, it's me who has written A, B, C, and D. It was that I was given an opportunity. Even then, because your name is not known in the industry, what they offer you is nothing, because they will tell you that we are going to give you an exposure, we are going to do this for you, you are not known after this, you'll be popular. So it was a group of us at the time, but because I was the head scriptwriter at the time. I was like, no, we're not doing this. If they think this channel is going to make it with what we are offering them, and they are not offering us in return, we drop everything. So along the way, I lost a lot of people.
Yeah.
I started with when it started because our visions were different, you know. So eventually, because there are so many now independent production houses, eventually we were called, I think after 2 years, there was a lady who was a scouter, Lindiwe, who went around looking for me because of the material that we had submitted in one of the stations. And she said, listen, I can take you to this independent station. I think that you have what it takes. So this is what we can do. So that's how now, in fact, we're starting in mid-July to start shooting, but I cannot say much about that. This is what we are busy now at the moment, alhamdulillah. But even me coming into that, I had to seek advice, you know, in terms of Islam. Am I allowed to do this? What is it that I cannot do? What is it that I can do? Can I write this certain stuff? Is it a space for me to in as a Muslim woman? Because there's a lot of exposure, there's a lot of intermingling, which is something that is important to me as a Muslim woman and a Muslim mother who's raising 3 boys, you know. So I've had time to consult that in this angle in my career, can I do this? So there's somebody that I've been in consultation with who is currently guiding me that, no, you cannot do this, this you can do, but you can do this way or that way, inshallah.
I mean, now, you came into, well, rather you continued being in the entertainment industry, even while you reverted to Islam. And has this been an easy transition for you? Now, you just mentioned that some of the things you could do and some things you couldn't do. And I remember once when I wanted to join an agency that I couldn't because they asked me if this is what I always wear, if this is how I always look. And I was told that I won't get anywhere, I won't go far because, I mean, the entertainment industry that we have in this country it doesn't work for us as Muslim women, especially Muslim women, because they have a specific image that you have to uphold, and if you don't, then like they said, you won't really get anywhere. So was that an easy transition for you?
You see, there are things about me that I don't compromise, you know, from it go. I don't compromise my dream. I will never. So, and I don't negotiate it. I know what I can do, right? I know what is on paper. So from the word go, when I was doing all my presentation, I was in a veil. I was in Baghdad. I had never felt the need to take it out. In fact, it was the people, if I'm being interviewed by a panel, I'm presenting to a panel, they would be the one who are interested that, okay, tell us about you. Why are you dressed like this? Are you always going to be dressed like this? No, it has got nothing to do with your work. Is there a time where you take it out? And I would explain, no, I'm not going to take it out. And they would ask the length you would go to. Will you do this? Would you go to events at night? Will you do this? How is it? How are you going to do this when we're marketing whatever, or when we're launching whatever you're doing? How are you going to do it? They would ask me about Lika. They would ask me the length I would go to, or the things I'm supposed to go to. That have to be done within the industry. And I would straight tell them, Miriam, that this I cannot do, this I can do, this I cannot do. And it, honestly, I think it has never been a problem, you know, except far. I've never found challenges where I don't feel like wearing my hijab because I'm doing this, or I'm having lunch, or I'm having tea, or anything. I've always been very comfortable within the hijab and in my space because this is who I am, this is my way of life. And this is what I want to project to people, that I'm a full package. There's no removing the veil on the face or for this to accommodate this, what I do as a career. So no, the transition, it has been, in fact, some, you know, I was telling a friend of mine that some people are coming out now, they're starting to wear their scarves, they're starting to be more comfortable. The more I engage or the more I have to attend a certain meeting and they see me, people now are bold to come out and say, we are also Muslims, we can also dress like this. Alhamdulillah.
MashaAllah. All right, Sis Lindiwe, we don't have a lot of time, but you have 2 books coming out later this year. What can we expect? To just quickly tell us a little bit about them.
Okay. I wrote two books as a source of healing with what I was going through personally in my journey. So, Cluttered Love, it's the first book that's going to come out, Cluttered Love. Cluttered Love, it talks about many women, like it's me, it's mirrored on my life, and it's mirrored on the women I've met in the past 13 years, Muslim women in particular. And what they have to go through, the layers they have to shed to become this perfect woman for these men that we have loved or we have embraced, and how it's just never enough. It's always something. You try to do this, it is always something. You get to a point where you're confused. So I took these 13 women through the 13 years and I encapsulated all that into one book. So that all my readers can relate to any of the stories that they read about these women, especially Muslim women. So how much we love these men who come to us with all this baggage, and we look beyond that because we want to love him, because we want to please Allah, because we want our akhirah, and. So that's what Cluttered Love was all about. I wanted anyone who reads my Cluttered Love to understand that this is me. Any page you read, you could see yourself within those pages. That's what I was writing in Cluttered Love. And then I have the second offering, which is Those They Hold Here. Those They Hold Here, it talks about specifically about what I went through as an in-law, with my in-laws. And within the community, how I was just rejected time and again, how I went to as far as buying love, if I should say so, because I wanted so much to be accepted and loved and wanted to belong. Remember, I ended up not having family anymore, being alone in all this journey. So Those They Hold Here, it talks about how my kids had to suffer because they come from me, how my kids were not accepted, it's all a journey within this 13 years. So these two books combined, it's actually a series. So I thought, let me put it on print. In fact, it was supposed to come now, but because now I'm going to be busy starting shooting and doing so many things, I wouldn't be able to attend the launches and so forth. So I thought, let me push it back until November when we finish everything that we'll be doing.
Inshallah.
So Alhamdulillah, I'm very excited about those two books, and I hope they will be received with the love and everything that I poured in writing them, inshallah.
Inshallah, Ameen, and may Allah accept all your efforts.
Ameen, Ameen,
All right,
Ameen.
and quickly, what advice can you give to anyone who is interested in Islam?
Come again?
What advice would you like to give anyone who is interested in Islam?
I would tell people, when you see something, research about it. Ask questions. Obviously, where do you fit in this? Would it be something that you would actually do? And Islam is beautiful. I always tell people, I enjoy this and I'm very comfortable in it. There is no other life. And remember, I have lived as a non-Muslim before. So I know this is the best thing that could ever happen to anyone, alhamdulillah. So I would advise them that, make your research and want to learn about Islam. Don't end where people are saying you should do this and not do this. And at the end of the day, you don't learn. So find the right people you can learn from, because that's also important, that you find the right people you can learn from. And then, bismillah,
All right. Shukran so much for your time, Sis Lindiwe, and good luck with your future endeavors, and may Allah make it a success. We'll catch up with you once again once the books have been launched, inshallah. But for now, take care and have a wonderful day.
Have a wonderful day, you too, Miriam. And thank you for having me on your show, and thank you for your viewers and listeners for listening to my story, inshallah.
Ameen. It has been a pleasure. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Lindiwe Ludziya, a film producer, animator, author, sharing her story of how she became a Muslim. And as you've heard it yourself, she became a Muslim through polygyny, actually, 13 years ago. If you have a story to tell, do get in touch with us and we will share it on our platform as well. And for now, if you have any comments, please send them to our WhatsApp line on 0617 603 555.